Hi friends, I'm Yuri. So I want to start a series of my pregnancy journey here in Japan, and this will be my first video, and I will talk about my experience of finding out that I got pregnant. I also want to share my experience of each trimester, but I think it's gonna be very long if I put it all in one video, so I decided to separate them. Today, I'll talk about how I got pregnant and how I felt about my feelings, emotions, and the raw experience of the beginning of my pregnancy journey. So before moving into the topic, I know that this kind of content is very personal and sometimes sensitive, and some people might not feel comfortable to watch this kind of content. I'll talk about topics related to pregnancy, so if you feel not comfortable already to continue watching, please feel free to stop watching this video or try to avoid my future contents related to pregnancy. But I really hope this series would somehow be interesting to some of you, especially if you're interested in how woman's body changes and just learning one's experience of going through pregnancy and childbirth. So yeah, let's get started. I found out I got pregnant around mid-June last year. 2025. It was not a surprise. I was very happy. At the same time, I felt very nervous about becoming a mom and going through all the unknown journey of pregnancy. So you might be wondering if we had been trying or not. Yes, we had been trying for about half a year before we found out that we got pregnant. But we had been trying very casually, not too seriously. I was taking hormonal pills before for almost 8 years continuously. So one time I decided to quit taking the pills and started trying, but we hadn't put too much pressure on us about getting pregnant and having a child. And it was the first month that we had decided to start trying seriously, checking out my menstrual cycle schedule and just trying, if that makes sense. We've been so lucky that our baby came, and I really appreciate that this baby came to our family. We decided a date to try a pregnancy test, and then I took the test and we checked the result together. So yeah, that's how we found out. And at the time, I felt I knew it. So there is a story, the very interesting story that I want to share. So a few days before I took the test, in my dream, my grandma came to see me. So she's from my mother's side, and she passed away when I was 11 years old. So it's been quite some time since then. I don't know why, it might sound very spiritual. It is spiritual, but my grandma, after she passed away, she somehow came to see me most of the time in my dream when I experienced a particular life event related to growing up as a woman and sexual and reproductive health. So I remember it was a day when she passed away when I first experienced a discharge, and also I remember she came to see me in my dream when I got my first period Also, same thing happened when I experienced intimate relationship with my partner for the first time. You know, it's a very spiritual experience for me. Like, it's always, she's very embracing. I feel I'm embraced by her when I went through those kinds of becoming an adult from the early age of teenager, in the process of becoming an adult as a woman. So when I saw the dream, I instantly got the feeling that, oh, I got pregnant. And then she came to tell me about that, although she didn't say anything related to that kind of stuff in my dream. It was very... It's very difficult to explain. I can't explain how I felt about the moment that I realized. But I remember when I woke up, I got crying. Tears came out a lot, and then I couldn't stop crying. At the same time, I felt very relieved and felt loved somehow. Then I remember my husband was very worried about me because, like, I was crying when I woke up next to him, but I was like, oh no, it's not like sad crying, or it's not something negative. It's just like the emotional flood that I've experienced. So that was a time I was certain that I got pregnant, and because around that time my family-in-law was visiting us, staying at our home, so we decided to take the pregnancy test after they went back so that we could have a time to sit and see the result together. And in terms of symptoms, I noticed I got a very sore boobs. The soreness around my breast. Usually before my menstruation, I don't experience the soreness. I usually get a little bit of abdominal pain, which is similar to cramps. But rather than before the cycle, I tend to get heavy cramps and some symptoms related to menstruation during the cycle. So I was a bit wondering why I felt the soreness around my breast area. So that was the difference. So I felt a bit, oh, maybe, oh, this is not usual. But until I saw the dream, I wasn't sure. So a few days later, I took the test and we saw the results together. And we were very happy, felt a bit thrilled to become parents. I think it was on the 5th day of my expected period. So it's getting to the end of 4th week of pregnancy. And after that, I got relatively heavy morning sickness, but not to the point that I got IV or anything. So I'll talk about that in the upcoming video about my first trimester experience. But yeah, so that's how I found I got pregnant. I hope this is somehow interesting. So I'll share my further pregnancy journey. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Bye!